how's it going with the kobold hatchlings?
Oh, well, they're doing fine. They're adorable little things, though they're very loud. I didn't know that kobold hatchlings would cry quite so often.
They'll settle down as soon as they start mining.
I don't think they'll be mining for a while.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Oh,
Whoa, where am I? I am not Jitters? Is that you?
Rose.
I am not a wolf. What?
Look! You're human again. Well,
Hey,
orc?
that is very rude. Yes, but I'm me. I am not wolf. Oh, this is. I have fingers. I have arms. See, I am not furry. Wow, I kind of miss it. Honestly, I can't sniff my own butt.
interesting conversation.
No. Okay. There's
Oh, Rose, Jitters has the jitters.
big scary. Okay, I get behind me. It's okay. I don't have my axe.
I'm small. I'm so small.
You have no need to fear. These two won't hurt you. We don't know how you got here, but this presents an opportunity. I was just going to look for somebody that we could ask questions about their lives, and you happen to just appear in thin air. So if you don't mind spending a bit of time, maybe you would like to answer some questions for us.
I suppose since we're here,
okay.
this is a very interesting place. I remember we were in the middle of a spell.
Oh yes, it was Albert's spell, and we were going back to Castiarmer's hut to rest up after our fight. Weird. Must have been.
Yes, maybe you got transported here instead. Welcome to the realm of forgotten memories and dreams. This is the Delegation of Dreamers, and I am Rue.
I'm Ephraim.
Hello.
All right, so I got the Oh, we have guests. Hi, Did you already do the introductions?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Ashura.
Hello. I am Jitters, and this is my friend Rose.
Yes, I am Rose Petal, but only my lovers may call me Rose Petal, so please call me Rose.
Understood.
You dog.
How come you have a different name for your lover?
It is tradition in my tribe to call your lover by their full name.
Well, you're free to call me Ephraim.
I thank you.
And what is your tribe, Rose?
My tribe? Well, it isn't much. We didn't have a name or anything. We weren't the biggest tribe of the from the neighboring orc tribe. Okay. We didn't have the biggest tribe, but we were just a collection of orcs and some goblins and sometimes gnolls, but they usually left after a while. But we were just a small tribe of those who worship the wolf, as may the North Wolf guide us.
And Jitters, are you from the same tribe?
I am not from the same tribe. I grew up in a little land in the middle of Mediterranean. My family, we traveled a very long time to find the perfect home. It took us many years, but eventually we found our home. And there was an incident that happened, and it cost the lives of many, including my own.
What sort of incident?
When we were all living in our new home, I was just getting back from an adventure. I went into the town. I made a friend by the name of Karma. When I came back home, I remember I encountered a group of individuals that were running with bows and swords on horseback, and then, well, I watched these people kill my brothers and the rest of my family, and after that, I was slaughtered. It was just a very unfortunate incident.
You seem to be quite alive right now.
Oh, alive is certainly a word. We actually rose from the dead in Ironguard.
Rose?
Like,
yes.
Rose.
You know what brought you back?
That is a hard question. I believe there were many things that brought us back. Technically, if you mean currently, the goddess lady, what is her name? Corellin? Was that her name?
Renan, yes.
She brought us back in our full state, like how we are now. Well, I'm a wolf, actually, but gave us our souls back. But those who made us rise was a man named Gareth, who worked for a very, very bad man named Strahd.
Yes. I remember we all woke up in our graves.
Yes.
100 years later. I was actually 16 when I originally died, and now I am 116 years old. That is longer than any goblin has ever lived.
It was 100 years for you. It was 200 years for me.
Wow.
Time passes quickly when you sleep or are dead.
I mean, with you sleep like the dead.
I do remember waking up, and we had numbers on our graves, but I never knew what they meant. I think it was just the order that we all rose from.
And do you ever figure out why they rose you all specifically?
Yes, actually, we were all risen to fight the man I mentioned, Strahd. We were chosen to. I'm not sure if it was to eventually become a part of his council or to change the cycle that he was in, but regardless, they
I
wanted
think
us
it
to.
was both.
I think it was a little bit of both.
It was all really the start of the torture. Is when we definitely rose.
You were tortured?
Yes, we were tortured in, well, many ways.
For months, really.
By Strahd?
By Strahd, by his council, by
By many
his
of
group of...
creatures.
Yes.
He did not like us.
How did you get out?
It's a more very complicated one, just because there were many instances where we escaped with our lives, just barely. And many instances where some of us actually had to go and find our party. Some of us actually got separated, and it was just a matter of fighting everyone and finding people.
Intriguing. I know a few Strahds, and not many people get away from them.
There are more than one Strahd. Oh dear, we just barely got rid of the fires.
I want to think about that right now. Oh, that hurts.
I'm sorry. So all of you were tortured together and got out? All of you that rose from the grave?
Yes, some were tortured in other ways.
Yes, and though not all of us got out, we lost a few friends along the way. Portfolio and my master Usaliti. We lost them both. It was a very, very sad day for Ironguard.
What did you do once you escaped?
Well, are you asking the first time or the second time? Because that is very specific question.
Let's go with the first time.
Well, didn't we wander around for a while in Ironguard, just kind of cleaning up the mess of what happened?
We did.
If I remember correctly, we wandered and fought loose goblins and orcs, which wasn't very fun, especially being a wolf at that time. And then we found that strange man, Barney.
Yes, we did. I remember he went by the name of Heroes of Rotralia?
Yes, Heroes of Robabia.
Rochalia.
Yes, Robabia.
Rose, it's Rochalia.
Am I saying something different?
Sounds the same to me.
Never mind.
Okay, but yes, he was a hero of Robabia. Very sketchy one, too.
At first, I didn't really have anything weird I noticed about him. Until then, Albert said that, well, he disappeared on us at least twice, and I think eventually we found out that he was a vampire. Albert, one of our members, and Rose's husband, actually, he healed us. There was an incident that happened where we got into a fight with him, I think, and
Oh, yes.
Albert healed us, and then he went to go and heal Barney, and then I think that is when we found out that he was undead. Well, to be precise, he was a vampire, and he came clean about it, and then proceeded to mention that Strahd Van Zarovich was actually his grandfather.
So he was one of Strahd's heirs?
Yes, I think he had means of stopping Strahd himself. But it didn't make sense to us because Strahd had been asleep for a very long time now. Well, a year and 5 months to be exact. So when we heard these news, it just... everything came crashing back. And I think that's when we finally decided to set foot in the Ironguard Castle once more.
That's when we saw our friend, the one that passed away, Usaliti. It turns out, amongst our adventure, he had made a deal with a creature. I'm not very sure what it was, but supposedly one of our other friends passed away, and he made this deal to protect them and bring them back. But in doing so, when he died in our initial fight against Strahd, it changed him in a very, very bad way.
He now went by Usaliri the Undying. He was so happy to see him at first until it was very easy to notice that he was not the same man.
Well, how is he changed?
Well, by appearances, he just looks much darker, like something took over him. And Usaliri was kind. He was a teacher. He was a protector. He was everything that we loved and more. And when he became Usaliri the Undying, it's like he knew we were his friends, but he wanted us to join his side. He wanted us to see things his way. It's not what he used to be. He wasn't considerate of our lives. He wanted to genuinely hurt us.
He wanted us to also align with Strahd after we had worked so hard to put him away for some time until we could figure out a more permanent solution to getting rid of him, which was not Usa at all.
Usaliri died to get rid of Strahd. He sacrificed himself just so that we can do our deed. And in the end, I feel as if we've almost abandoned him. Now that I'm remembering, I think that's the very reason that he was upset with us. It's because he risked his life so that we could end Strahd, and instead we made a deal with him. I would be upset too.
But in the end, you managed to defeat Strahd?
In the end, we managed to defeat Strahd, and Usaliri. He also sacrificed himself for the cause. And this time he really died.
Like, died for real this time?
Yes, he managed to turn into ash. Rest in peace, Usaliri, you are loved. We did manage to defeat Strahd.
I don't think we destroyed Strahd. You destroyed Strahd with your tidal wave.
well, desperate times calls for desperate measures. I did kill him. Actually, it's very fitting. The first time we defeated Strahd, I had an item called the Deck of Many Things that I pulled on him last time, and it managed to turn the tables. Really, the odds were in our favor at that time. But the second time we fought Strahd, we actually, by the help of everyone, I feel as if I couldn't really have done what I did without everyone's help. I did cast Tidal Wave at max level, and I really hope that it was enough to kill him. But something deep down in me is restless. It's like I can still feel him. You know, Rose?
To be fair, I mostly felt fleas a lot, so I can't tell if it's the feeling of Strahd being still alive or if it's just little creatures crawling over my furry back.
Well, I feel as if they feel both the same.
We have a shampoo for that if you're interested.
Oh, I would gladly like to know. It would be very good for when Albert bathes me.
Yes, you need the shower, I think. Wait, what?
How did you become a dog?
Funny thing about that. In our travels, we met the very strange man named Gareth, who was once a part of Strahd's council, but he hated Strahd very, very much. And so when we were encountering him in his weird little carnival that he had, we found a room where there were all these trinkets, and all of us were able to grab one. Well, I grabbed this one bag. It had, I think, a heart of a djinn, I believe is what Albert told me. Inside, I could make wishes, but they were very selfish wishes, and I'm not a very selfish person, so it was very hard to make wishes. But eventually, I wanted to protect everyone, and so I tried to think of a way, and so I thought of, if I die, or when I die, I could meet this lady named the Raven Queen. I saw her very briefly at one point, and I thought she might be able to help bring my soul and allow it for someone else to use it if I pass away. And so I asked the wish to do that. And in doing so, I sealed myself to die. And once we defeated Strahd, I did. But then Corellin, she was a very nice lady and put my soul in the body of Cub, which was our wolf friend that we had along the way.
Yes, I remember Cub.
Yes, Cub was a very good boy.
He was the best boy.
So what happened to Cub's soul?
When we first originally started the group, Rose actually went hunting for food one time, and he came back with food, but also came back with Cub. And he was very injured, and I think dying too. He just looked very weak. And I have history in speaking with canines, and I was able to speak with the wolf. It was very timid, but he took very kindly to me. I think I reminded him a lot of his mother.
Yes.
His mother passed away when he was just a cub, and so all he knows is his name is Cub.
And when he joined us, he became very, very protective. And at one point, we had to sneak into Strahd's castle, and he went along with Jitters, but he got trapped there. And when we made the final assault on the castle, he sadly had been passed away.
There were multiple instances where Cub should have passed away, but
He was very resilient.
he was very strong, the best boy. But Rose took the body of Cub after Corellin gave us our lives back.
Yes.
So now Rose's real body is, well, a wolf. But it's also Cub, so it's almost like having him around again.
So do you still adventure together?
Yes, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually just me, Rose, Albert. It's just us three that go around all of Ironguard and try to help people that need it, really.
Martin left with Barney to go help the heroes of Robabia. I don't know how
Yes,
they're doing.
Vertralia.
Yes, Robabia. And Damar, our good friend, he's back at Cassiarmer's Holt doing wizard thingies. I'm not sure. I'm not very smart enough to understand what they do.
Lots of magic, apparently. He's with the Mad Mage.
Ah, yes, Mad Mage.
There's a mad mage in every realm, it seems.
Oh.
Yes, this one is particularly mad.
On the topic of mages and magic items, I noticed that you have a unique weapon and a couple other items on you. I believe your name is Jitters?
Yes, this is, well, this is actually a scythe that I earned from a fight against death. Well, I guess you could say I stole it afterwards, but, it is a souvenir to me. And then this, it's called a samurai's cape. Actually, Rose gave this to me, and it's very good when I want to get out of sticky situations. It's got Misty Step 5 times. It's very good.
Ooh, that is very useful.
And then this one is actually Gareth's dagger. We stole this at a carnival. I stole this from him, but we were at the carnival, and it was a very sticky situation. I believe that we were all fighting Gareth. It's been so long, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But during one of the moments where he was distracted, I noticed he had a very shiny dagger, and deadly even. But when he was distracted, I managed to steal it from him during a mid-attack, and I, stabbed him with it to see what would happen. And turns out it is very deadly.
Gotta experiment with what you can when you get the chance.
Oh, yes. And I venture to use it whenever I've been stuck in a pickle. It's been very useful.
How do you manage to get stuck inside a pickle?
It's a figure of speech, Eophrim. Read one of the Yashtan books that we've given you, and you would understand.
Definitely playing the audiobook when you're sleeping.
Do we have pickles here?
Actually, we do have some pickles here if you'd like some.
Oh, I would love a pickle.
Really, I've actually never had a pickle.
You've never had a pickle? Oh.
I've never had a pickle. I've just heard of the many things of pickles.
They're not as big as a goblin, though.
What? Do they get bigger than goblins?
No,
No,
that's what I'm saying. They're not. You can't get stuck in it.
it's a figure of speech.
What about enlarging?
That would work.
Oh, big pickle.
Oh, Jeremy has already brought some pickles. I guess he overheard. This is our favorite kobold. Well, my favorite kobold, Jeremy.
Oh.
I only say that because none of the other kobolds are currently here. They're all either on vacation or in the mines.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yes, here. You each can have a few. These are pickled here, actually.
Oh.
Really?
Pickle.
They're either working in Mineshaft 2 or they're on vacation in Mineshaft 1.
This is really good.
He's very good.
Yes.
I like eating them in one bite.
I noticed that you, Rose, have some magic tattoos on you, but I can't quite tell what they do.
I do. I forgot about these. My friend Damar put them on me. See, the runes and the weird, shield shape, I'm not really sure what they all mean, but it allows me to make this little bubble around me, and it's like a shield, and I can protect myself from oncoming attacks.
Ah, it's the shield spell.
Yes.
That is very useful.
Yes.
I remember him doing the tattoo on you during one of our campfire nights.
Yes, it was very nice.
It was actually one of my favorite nights.
One of the good ones.
Something that has been bothering me is you, Jitters. It's weird, but you have a little remnant of the scent of a vampire, if that makes sense. Like, vampires have their own unique smell of undeath. Could you tell me why you have that smell?
Yes, well, there was a time where Jitters was very unhappy with herself. She, didn't really feel as if she was being very useful to the party. I have a daughter by the name of Karma. I did have a daughter. But anyway, at the time, I wasn't very good at protecting her, nor was I good at protecting my friends. I would get knocked down a lot and pushed around, and bad things would happen to me left and right. And after a certain point, it definitely takes a mental toll on you. Well, during one of these points, I actually reached out to Strahd, and I made a deal with him. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be better for my group and for my daughter. So he gave me a random card. And, I guess you can call it the wild card. But I took it. And the next thing you know, I felt angry. I didn't feel like myself at all. And then I had these new abilities. Magic. I'm familiar with magic, but I'm not proficient in it. I just didn't know what I was doing. I made a really stupid call back then. But it turns out I was actually a vampire for a little brief period of time. And a sorcerer as well. But I put all those days behind me. The minute that I realized it was actually doing more harm than good, I ripped the card up. I was back to my normal Jitter self, but Strahd was not very happy about that.
I would not assume so. He does not like things that he gives being returned, so to speak, especially when it lets him have some form of power over you. But you mentioned you had a daughter. Would you mind telling us a bit about her and what happened?
Yes. Well, it is a long story and a very sad one, but during the beginning of our journey, there was a time where I woke up in an asylum, and I remember I was trying to find my way out, and it was very scary. There was lots of noises, and it was dark, and, I remember I got knocked out, and then I woke up strapped to a table in a laboratory chamber, which then led to me meeting a man named Dr. Zeichenfeld. He is actually Karma's father. He created Karma by implanting a child inside of me. It was like some sick science experiment. But anyway, the child grew at rapid speed, and during one of those moments, I remember I tried to escape the doctor. I grabbed one of his syringes, and I stabbed him with it, only to find out that it actually made him stronger. I escaped, and shortly afterwards, Karma was actually born. After that, we had to go straight to the castle, Strahd's castle, to have a casual dinner with him and his council. But that actually didn't last for very long because it ended up with the fight breaking loose, and I was already extremely weak after everything that I had been through, so I wasn't very much use. I got knocked out immediately again, so I don't really remember too much. It's all hazy from here. Afterwards, Karma got kidnapped by Baba Yaga. There was actually a few moments where Karma has gotten captured, but it's been so long, it's actually hard to remember. I know during one of those times, Strahd actually brought Karma back to me as a sign of good faith so that I would side with him. But turns out that Jester actually caused the lives of many good people, specifically in a winery. But I ended up getting Karma back, and then after that, ever since then, we journeyed with her, and she rarely left my side. But when our fight with Strahd was almost over, we freed and saved the goddess Krellin, as I mentioned before. But she granted us our lives back, although some of us couldn't have it because the people that weren't born in the domain originally, they didn't have a real soul to keep them here. So because of this, many children and men and women actually died because they simply never existed in this world. So they are without body and mind and soul. But the goddess says that even though karma isn't real, the love that we all gave her and the care that we all put into her will always be real. And that I should always hold those memories deep in my heart. So now I always think of karma. I think of all the good memories that we once had. And, well, I named her after my first friend ever when I first set out to being an adventurer. So she rests deep in my soul. It is a very sad story.
It is quite sad, but it's also very heartwarming to know that you still hold those memories dear and that they're not soured.
It's part of your journey.
It is part of my journey. I've learned many things, I believe. But I eventually did get my revenge on Dr. Zeichenfeld. Well, he actually almost killed us, but we managed to turn the tables, and the odds were also in our favor when we were able to get him to flee. Very injured, mind you. But this was also one of those things where it was my fight and my fight alone, so the party actually saw me off while I went to go and seek out Dr. Zeichenfeld, and I chased him, really, through blood trails, and I found him in the forest. It was like a beautiful tree, really. The only thing that felt like it had life, while everything else was decaying. I found Dr. Zeichenfeld there. He was very much dying. I remember as he was dying, we had a talk in private. I remember he had a moment of sanity and clarity when he remembered that his family lineage was a repeating factor of a family curse, and it was a very sad cycle that he had to continuously live through. He asked for forgiveness, and I remember I forgave him. I had the option to slit his throat right then, and I think instead I just watched him and talked to him while he slowly faded. I don't really believe I will ever truly forgive him for what he did to me, but I did forgive him to forget my past and move on from it. I believe that is the right thing to do.
I am inclined to agree with you. Forgiving those who do you wrong can be better than taking your revenge on them. In some ways, it's more poetic, so to speak.
I never thought of it that way. But it's very good to feel reassured about your decisions. Sometimes I wonder if that was the right call.
I think it was.
So, what are your plans from now on?
I think really it's just a matter of traveling around. Maybe one day we might go to Rotralia like everyone says.
You silly, we are in Robabia.
We are in Rotralia?
Yes, I remember Martin was talking about how Ironguard is in the middle of Robabia, I believe. I can't say for sure, but he had mentioned a place called Ivan. I guess that is where his group like to always see. I would like to see this so-called Ivan.
Yes, I heard it was very beautiful.
You're actually in the realm of forgotten memories and dreams. Not really Rosalia.
Oh, that's just temporary. We'll send them back to where they were supposed to
Are
be.
these places not connected? What?
Are we in a different dimension?
You're in a dream.
Yes.
Whoa.
We're dreaming?
Well,
Am I going to remember this when I wake up?
That's entirely up to you.
Oh.
yes. Though I do have to say, I think you're more physically here than most people are. So this is definitely an interesting dream for you all. But,
Very, very scary.
I believe our time is running up.
Yes, we must send you along your way back to where you're supposed to be.
Wow, time really does pass fast here.
Could I ask for more pickles?
Of course.
Yes, I want to show the rest of the group.
Oh, thank you.
I can't guarantee that they'll make it with you, but
We can certainly try.
We have to eat them all as fast as possible, Rose.
Quickly.
It was wonderful meeting you all.
yes.
That's you, and until next time, have a good awakening.
Yes, he managed to turn into ash. Ash. He turned into ass.
And a right ass.
Just straight ass. Rest in peace, Osa lady. You are loved.